Hi everyone, it's Sean Casey here and we're in the Tanog Social Club. I'm delighted to be joined by two Tanog stalwarts. I have Paul Chiarville here and Desi Henderson, and I'm going to talk a bit about the history of the club. And I know I was chatting to his offer about a couple of All-Ireland medals. There's more than a couple actually, the 5 All-Ireland medals that are in the club. And Desi, I'll come to you first, you're the club chairman. Just give us a bit of a history check of the Tanog club.
Well, Tanog was established in 1943, although there was Gaelic football played in the Portadown area. Long before that, we could trace it right back to about 1917, the various names. So from 1943, we have been, in the Armagh leagues right up until the present day, and we've grown from a very small club to it's quite a large club now. We're somewhere in the region of 24 teams in all the age groups, both male and female. And we just started a group, Gaelic for All, which is looking at kids with learning difficulties or whatever. And so we've just started that a couple of weeks ago. So the club's thriving in terms of Gaelic football. We have outlived our facilities here and we're looking for somewhere else to build another pitch. So it's gone from strength to strength, and we're probably at the strongest now than we've ever been over the years.
Your Dads and Lads team as well, Paul, you were telling me?
Dads and Lads, the most successful team in the club.
The new facilities we get to, because obviously the project that Armagh have in Portadown at the minute, with the new county facilities, we're still trying to support it because of how important it is for everybody in the county. But I know I was chatting to his offer about the All-Ireland medals, Paul, that are in the club, and I think we've narrowed it down to 5. We had Andrew McCann in the 02 team, with Barry McDonald and Brian Mullen on the 04 under-21 team, with Mark Davidson on the 09 All-Ireland winning minor team, and Oshin obviously last year. So 5 All-Ireland medals in a club like Tanog, that's a huge achievement.
Massive achievement, Sean. We're hugely proud of those players that you've mentioned. They've been great servants for Tanog from they were no age, and some of those guys are still serving Tanog with distinction, maybe not on the pitch but off the pitch, as coaches and real drivers, and they've been fantastic role models. 2002, which I can certainly remember well, having that representative on the pitch. Andrew McCann was huge for us. There was someone to look up to, and there was no doubt whenever there are representatives on the Armagh squad from Portadown, the interest in the run to the finals and all that involves just swells, and it just creates a huge buzz around the town. Andrew himself was a fantastic player. Obviously he went off and moved to Dublin at the time, but we all still followed him very closely, and we're hugely proud of him as an Armagh player. The two boys then in 2004, Barry and Brian, both started that final and were key parts of it. Obviously Brian had a fantastic Armagh career thereafter. Mark Davidson was a super player at that age group, played with Rory Grugan, Gavin McParland in that real sort of the team that's been still involved in the senior team now, and Oshin. What more do you say about that man, following on from the year that he's just had and the year that he's continuing to have? I suppose just the hysteria around him, not just in Portadown, in North Armagh, all of Armagh. Every time he gets the ball, the whole place just lights up, and as I say, we're hugely proud of them all.
It's not a bad 5-a-side team, Desi, if you were to put them 5 out.
And then you could add Paul to that, and it would be a fantastic side, but no, it's proud of every one of them, and it's given the club such a boost over the years, having those players coming through the county level and being successful at county level. It's given the club a huge boost. The number of young people who are coming out to play, and if Oshin comes to a match, and you can see them staring at him and gathering around him. So yeah, it's fantastic for the club.
Was Oshin, Paul, do you remember him as a young fella coming through? Was he always one that everybody knew that you had to keep an eye on him? He was going to be someone?
Yeah, you knew he was, first of all, his brother Shay was a fantastic player. I think Rian O'Neill still calls him the GOAT. He was in Rian's Abbey County's minor squad, and Shay was a super player himself, so we knew there was definitely in the breeding there was pretty good. But Oshin, no, he was his own wee man and full of determination. a real practice ethic about him. You know, no matter what it was he was doing, he was obsessed about it. And we very nearly lost him. We very nearly lost him to soccer. I know throughout his teens it was a constant negotiating match. Is he going to play this game for us? And the managers always try to keep the door open as best they could. And as I say, he was playing for Linfield, he was playing for Portadown, like even on a professional contract. But once Geezer came calling, he was only going to go to one place.
I think that's the big thing we all know about Oshin. He was such a talented soccer player, but as Paul says, Geezer came calling.
He was a talented soccer player, just a fantastic sports person. You know, I think he would be good at anything he put his mind to. But there's 3 occasions which I can recall. We won an under-14 final, and Oshin won it for us. You know, and he just stood out above everybody else. You know, and the opposition was always fearful of him. And then we won an under-19 a few years back with Oshin in it. And again, that night he was absolutely outstanding, and he won it for us that night too. So you know, that talent that he has was always there, and he's an individual with such a quiet demeanour. You know, I think Paul said, you know, he can be quite shy if he's involved in anything, but just an outstanding player. And I remember a conversation coming out of a match when he was at under 14 level. I always remembered this conversation where 2 guys from the opposing club, well, not name the club because it would be unfair, said, Portadown or nothing without Oshin Conley, he'll not be there very long, he'll be away playing soccer. So when he come back and played, when Geezer got him to play for Armagh, it was such a moment. You know, you could actually feel the buzz in the club when that happened. So it's just fantastic for us as a club to have him and continue to have him.
I think, Paul, the one thing that sticks out for Armagh people and anybody now sort of watching Oshin Conley is it's the speed, and I suppose he has brought confidence to that as well. I know one of the scores he had against Dublin, he broke through a tackle, and probably the easy pass was to slip it back out to Rian O'Neill, but he kept going and kicked it over with his left foot, and so he has all the attributes, but he has that confidence now, and we've seen it in last year's All-Ireland final too, the Ulster final this year. The big day doesn't seem to faze him.
No, and I think it maybe does come with his temperament, in that, you know, he is sort of shy, unassuming, nothing seems to faze him. He would tell you secretly that he's a nervous wreck, but how could you not be? But he can certainly back it up with the talent that he has, and as I say, the effort that he puts in. The pace is searing. I think everybody's on their feet now when he gets the ball, and they're glad to see him get it. But even beyond that, he has great composure on the ball too, and you can see a bit of his soccer coming out in him, where he's, you know, can pass the ball outside of the boot, inside of the boot. But hugely exciting player, and definitely haven't even seen the best of him yet, which is the best part of it all.
And Desi, we were talking about All-Ireland medals coming into the club. I think he's the first All-Star to come into the club, and a Young Player of the Year as well. Last year.
You know, I suppose we started to talk about during last season. We started to talk about, because he'd been playing so well and he'd got man of the match in so many occasions, that we started to talk about, goodness, you know, it's a possibility that something really big could happen here. But we could never have envisaged the awards that he got between the Irish News, between Young Player of the Year, and obviously the All-Star. We were at the event, and it was such a proud moment. In fact, I think I held on to the All-Star for ages.
I think you still have it.
Yeah, it was, you know, it's just the buzz that it creates, you know, and it's helped us as a club. There's absolutely no doubt about that.
And that buzz, Paul, it's spread throughout the county. Obviously, winning All-Ireland does that, but the form of the team this year as well has just, there's a euphoria at the minute about Armagh, and everybody's so excited about it.
Yeah, I think the word I use is like hysteria. You know, you're seeing the Armagh fans going to the games at this minute in time. They're there 3 hours in advance, you know, in their droves. It's like North Armagh, Mid Armagh, South Armagh. We're all one, all cheering the boys on, and like the standard that they're playing at is unbelievable. That level, they've just upped it again. Boys coming in who were maybe not starters last year, coming in and contributing and adding to the whole thing, and wow, like it's a nice time to be an Armagh supporter for sure. We've had a right few years of barren spells, but this team now, we're just make hay where the sun shines for sure. It would be amazing to get that another final and be successful again.
I think that's what we're all hoping for, Desi, is maybe a 6th All-Ireland medal coming back into it.
I think we all, even those who no longer play, in a sense, we're all look back to 2002, and you know, we really should have won an All-Ireland within the next couple of years. And sometimes, it's just a bounce on the ball. And I remember against Tyrone, I was in Lower Kazakhstan, and we had gone for the ball. It was right on the sideline, and for whatever reason, the ball actually bounced the opposite way. It was always a spin on the ball, and took it away from us, and Tyrone scored out of that. And I'm saying, only for the bounce of the ball, we could have won an All-Ireland final that year, you know. So we should have won another All-Ireland. The team was good enough. Just luck wasn't on our side. And I think everybody in the county would love to get another All-Ireland or two out of this team.
Obviously, Desi, you mentioned at the start that we're talking about the new county facilities that are underway in Portadown at the minute, and everybody's getting behind this. And it's so important for the Portadown community and for Armagh as a county as a whole.
We're so proud that the facility is in Portadown. You know, it's not a town that hits the headlines for football. It hits the headlines for a lot of other things, but football was never one of them. In fact, I think there was an Irish news story at one point where it was said that, you know, Portadown's not renowned for Gaelic football, but I think the club wrote a letter to them. That's how well we have. You know, to have and to see the facilities, because I've been out, it just looks fantastic. You know, that training facility is going to bring other players on. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And just to have it there, the whole county. I know sometimes you had this rivalry between South Armagh, Mid Armagh, North Armagh down through the years, and that's all been dispelled. And I suppose some people have questioned Portadown. Why Portadown? Well, it's the centre for everybody. Transport links, being able to get to the training ground. So yeah, it's the perfect place for it, and I think it'll boost Armagh's football in years to come. Absolutely.
And Paul, you spent a few pre-seasons in Callan Bridge, so these new facilities, they're long overdue.
Yeah, Callan Bridge is grim, and there's no doubt about it, especially in those winter months. And if the current Armagh management are able to do what they've done with this group of players with those facilities, what are they capable of doing in a new state-of-the-art training ground? And I think we're all eagerly awaiting that. But it's no doubt it was long overdue, and fair play to the Armagh management teams over the years of making the most of what they had. But in this day and age, it's very much needed. You look around the country, the Tyrones, the Garbahis, even the Darvers, the Louths of this world, Owen Beg, Derry, you know, they're operating at a very high level as a result of their very good training facilities, and Armagh needs to get there. And because there's no doubt we obviously have the ability here, as we're showing, but it's just matching that now with the facilities, and there's no doubt it's going to bring us to another level altogether.
I think you both mentioned the young people coming through, and we know there's a shrine dedicated to Oshin Connolly behind us here. There's young people in this club and other clubs looking at their county heroes, looking to get up on the wall beside Oshin in this club, and further clubs, you know, everybody's looking forward to what's coming in the years to come on the county facilities that we're trying to develop at the minute, Paul. Like that's key to keeping Armagh at the top table.
No, absolutely, and you can be sure with, you know, the splash that Armagh made last year, there's been a whole new interest in Gaelic football from younger ages to older ages. And of course, on the playing side of things, it's one thing. Playing side is great, there's no doubt about it, but not everybody can play. What it's doing in our club as well for young volunteers coming through, showing extra commitment on that level as well, wanting to become young coaches, young referees, young committee members. You know, you're getting your new committee, your new chairman out of it, chairperson, whoever that may be, and it's just brilliant to see. And that's really, you know, that's the key success story of what Armagh really did last year, just bringing in the next generation and taking them all with us.
So thanks very much to Desi and to Paul. Great chat about Tanog, about Oshin Connolly, and about the possibilities for what the future will hold. Obviously, as I keep mentioning, we're still raising much needed funds for the county grounds at St Malachy's, so Please everybody get involved in the draw for the house in Newry. Tickets are only £20 and the link's available in this post. So thanks everybody for supporting us and as you continue to do.